Maybe I'm crazy, but there can be crying in football.
In the locker room only.
No, on the field.
And in the showers.
What? We're gonna move
on. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not.
Welcome to the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. That's Brandon Newman.
Hola.
In a very loud windbreaker thing.
You like my swishy jackets?
It's a swishy jacket?
Yeah, swishy jackets.
You know what I miss?
LA hoodies. What's up?
Breakaways.
Breakaway. Yeah, you ain't gotta miss nothing. Just go get some.
Get some?
Yeah, go get some breakaways.
I don't know. Is that acceptable wearing attire?
I feel like reasons to wear breakaway stuff has deplenished as you get older. Like,
well, yeah, because I don't play. Yes. I don't know what deplenish is either.
Is that not the right term? No. That's not the right term. Oxford. Let me look up a synonym for deplenish.
We'll roll with it. I understood what you meant. I think diminish is the word you were looking for.
Diminish?
Just to be clear. No, I mean, I don't play sports anymore, so why would I wear breakaways? Well, I don't have any need to remove my pants quickly.
We should stop, we should break away into our podcast attire. Like, come wearing suits.
Oh, breakaway suits? Breakaway suits is fun.
Breakaway suits, we should definitely.
Because normally I wear suits every day, so that would work. What would you like to add, Heller, before we actually get started?
Imagine just showing up to yoga, and it's like the class about to start, and then you just...
Yoga is a good place for that. Yoga is a good place for that. That's actually a really good suggestion. You're trying to be funny, but it's actually a good suggestion, because after hot yoga, putting the sweatpants back on is a very uncomfortable experience.
And that would be easier to put back on.
Yes.
Y'all know how to spell synonym?
And you'd make a hell of an entrance.
People that make noise inside the yoga studio... I'm trying not to be dramatic here. They just should not be allowed in the studio. I want to say something way more violent, but it's not nice. Don't talk in the yoga studio. It's very annoying. It's been happening several times now. I'm going into I'm in full Larry David mode right now. Okay.
Who's talking during yoga?
Don't talk in the yoga studio. It's these people. They come in the studio and they're like friends, right? And then they sit like when me and Earl go to yoga, we don't even put our mats next to each other. He's over there. I'm right here. It's fine.
What are you talking about?
They talk in the studio.
There's like a yoga behavior.
Yes, there's etiquette to everything in life. And in yoga, it's quiet. All right? You go inside. I need my moment of meditation, okay? My silence. And that you're in here yapping about who knows what.
When does that start, though? When is the class?
The second you enter the studio, it's silent time.
As soon as the lights are dimmed.
I can accept like a water bottle being knocked over or something, even though it's very obnoxious.
That's the worst.
But,
I mean,
you put the mic down. You put the mic down.
I'm here for this yoga etiquette. You better be here for this yoga etiquette too. All right. You might learn something.
Put the mic down. So here's the thing about this. I think of it like a classroom. Like in the classroom, put the mic down. You walk into a classroom and then you're like, at some point in time, the teacher's like, "Okay, everyone, settle down. Now class starts."
No. Ariana, you do yoga, right? Yeah, you agree with me.
So you're saying you can't talk while you're getting ready before the yoga even starts?
Like when you enter
the class studio even starts, you can't talk.
No.
Yeah, I don't
That's
I talk.
There's
no way. You can't be talking.
You turn into mute people.
It's the silent time.
Yoga, elitist.
Quiet.
Yoga elitist. You
know what? It's been brewing for a long time now that I'm going to fight someone in yoga. And so It may happen. I'm telling you, because I really resist. Like I'm a confrontational person, but I resist saying things to strangers because not that I'm afraid of how they were going to respond, but they may say something that will cause me to lose my mind.
Right.
And that's a liability.
Like that. Michelle went to me in Louisville this weekend, and she realized she's like, "Oh yeah, like I think people from Louisville are generally nicer because they know that it can lead to a fight."
Oh yeah.
You're like you know what I mean? Like
fights are on the table.
Yeah, fighting is available.
We're going to talk a lot about fighting today.
Right.
And that's the thing. So I choose not to confront someone in yoga because maybe they're going to say something crazy back to me, and then it's a wrap.
But you have to
because then I go dark outside, and I don't remember.
But outside of yoga, because if you can't talk in the yoga studio, you definitely can't get mad.
No, there's no getting mad. And I was this close. I was this close to saying something in yoga the other day, and I was like, this is not the time. It's not the appropriate time.
Isn't the point of yoga to like clue everyone out, like Zen, and
not think about?
No, but that's the whole point of yoga.
You
like,
can't do that if there's
channel
talking.
yourself.
There's no talking.
No, they challenge you to zen yourself. Those people are plants, and you're failing in yoga.
The splashing of the sweat. Anyway, okay. So Chris Haynes joins us today. We talk a lot about the NBA because the NBA is just content heaven, always. So there's lots of that, and we have some fights on the football field that involve the culture, which we have to discuss. And lots of other stuff, fights and rap game fights, Pusha T, Drake, Kanye, all that still. And as I mentioned earlier, there's some crying that may or may not. Crygate 2018.
Crygate.
Let's get to Chris Haynes. All right, Chris Haynes is joining us. We're very excited to have you in. We've been talking about having you on the podcast for a while now, so we're excited to have you. And there's just so much to talk about because the NBA is back and there's drama right away.
Love it.
Which we knew. We weren't expecting this kind of drama, but
thankful for it.
Yes, we are. Yeah. We're always thankful for the content. Yes, we're in the content business. Dial it up. So you were at the Lakers game last night.
Correct.
Where LeBron decided to do what he usually does, which is miss free throws in the clutch.
Why did you like that? That's how we set it up. Joy? That's how we set it up. You see what that?
My chair. If you can't see it, from Joy's tape, my chair literally went down.
You was up with me,
like my heart did when he missed those free throws.
Okay,
I'm just gonna stay here for now.
Oh man,
I'll be back up
I really feel bad.
I'll see y'all later. I can be back
about laughing about that, but not really. Okay, so
go ahead.
I mean, is that what we're gonna say, or are we gonna try and reset the chair?
I'm coming up to ask the LeBron question. Okay. I got it.
Oh my God! All right. Anyway, he does miss free throws in the clutch, though.
Yes. I think it's safe to say I don't see LeBron doing this podcast in the near future.
No. We brought
not near future. Not near future.
Let's talk about it.
Well, we brought LeBron to LA.
We on track for about a year.
While we're on that topic, LeBron should definitely do this podcast because for 4 years, while I was enjoying the LeBron reign in Miami, I was also vehemently defending LeBron against all naysayers all across the world.
When did it stop?
Yeah, exactly. It stopped
when
yesterday.
When he went back to Cleveland.
Okay.
We went back home because he went back home?
What do I look like? I'm from Pittsburgh.
Because he went back home?
Oh, please with this go back home stuff. Okay. Where
I'm
are you originally from?
Fresno, California.
Okay, so I understand you spent some time in Cleveland.
Yes,
okay.
a couple years.
I'm sorry about that. Lo siento.
Well, yeah,
but you're not there anymore, so we can keep it real. All right. And that was not about going home. Like, it was nice. It was a nice PR spin. They had a very nice article and a very nice picture, and I get it. And there was a song that went along with it. It was perfect. I mean, Olivia Pope would be proud. Okay.
Oh my
But let's not pretend like that wasn't about having control over the organization that Pat Riley was not about to give him.
Enlighten us, Joy. What was it about?
I mean, I just did. I mean, what's your opinion about it? That's my opinion, based off of some facts I may or may not have. But what's your opinion about it?
Man, we going back here. Okay, so my opinion at the time, I actually went to go cover LeBron when he went back to Cleveland.
Right.
He wanted to go home and win the championship. It was his career.
He missed the weather.
His career. No, I know that's not it. His career would not have properly been defined accurately if he didn't go back and win one for the hometown team.
Amen.
Now that he did so, that allowed him to come to LA with no backlash.
No, everything happens for a reason. I'm with you there, and that is also true. Everything that you said is true. All I'm saying is, and this was not even where we were supposed to go with this, but it's fine. All I'm saying is, had they won that championship,
that last year
in Miami, the last year, you really think he would have left and went back?
I do. I think it would have been easier then to leave after that time.
He's going to walk away from an opportunity to win another championship?
No, he's giving you facts right now. He would have gone back home. He had to win one in Cleveland. His biggest thing was winning one in Cleveland. He went back, did that against the best team in NBA history. Mm-hmm. Until they lost. Lost, right?
Historic
he was
fashion.
always going to go back home and be a hero to Cleveland before he was a hero anywhere else.
Okay. All right. We agree to disagree. So
free throws.
Yeah.
Free throws.
Now, listen, I'm very excited he's in LA, to be clear. Like, I'm off the petty stuff.
Too.
Like, I'm very happy he's in LA. It's great for everyone except for Cleveland,
Amen.
Which makes me even happier that he's here in LA. So everyone's freaking out because they lost last night. I'm not really panicking at all. And I actually think, I don't believe in moral victories, so we're not going to do that. But we went over that last week. Mm-hmm. Maybe like 1%. Because Lonzo's hitting shots. Josh Hart looks great.
Yes.
And aside from the brawl, which we'll get to in a second, I don't feel bad about the direction that they're going in.
No, I think that I don't have a problem with what you just said in any of that. Lonzo, the jury's still out on him. For me, I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold. But Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma, those guys legit. But I will say this. LeBron James, throughout his tenure as an NBA professional, has had problems at the free throw line, period. I trust LeBron a lot more so in the clutch when the game is actually going on, live play, rather than at the charity stripe.
Right.
So, was there a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction? Maybe, but I will tell you this. Since I've been here in LA these last 3 weeks or however long it's been, I have noticed, like, LeBron hasn't won over everybody. Like, those Kobe stands are for real. Like, those people taking, painting over the murals of LeBron, like it's real.
That's real life.
Like, I think it caught LeBron by surprise a little bit too, because they were asking him some questions early on in the practice sessions, and he was like, hold on, I get the sense y'all don't know too much about me. And I think LeBron felt like everything that he did in Miami, the way he came back in historic fashion to beat the Warriors when he was with Cleveland, I think he felt like everybody had the pulse of what he was doing. That's not the case. Here in L.A., you came over here, that's great. But now, what you're going to do for us moving forward? Yeah. And so it's going to be tough. I think initially he might have thought he can get away with coming here and not delivering a championship. That's not going to be the case. If he doesn't come over here and deliver one.
I mean, the way we're scrutinizing these first 3 games
that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
Well, that had to be expected, though. Like, I don't think that overall anyone actually expects them to win a championship this year, so those expectations are not there.
Right.
But they do expect them to perform. Like,
at least to finish the game.
It's LeBron.
How are they not performing? I know you're all about the wins and losses, but LeBron is literally walking these young guys through situations that they're going to need to be professionals at to win playoff games later on.
Yeah, I agree, but LeBron got to hit those free throws. Yeah, LeBron has to hit those free throws. I know Luke Walton and LeBron, they were very pissed about the lack of free throw opportunities they had compared to the opposition over the last 2 games. But at the same time,
but you can't whine about that. Like, sometimes you get calls, sometimes you don't.
You don't. And but we can talk about free throw opportunities, but he had 2.
Right, and make them.
He had the game winner too. Yeah. That he obviously get into overtime. That was a huge moment. But now we're at the point where we're used to seeing that, and obviously he is as well. Missing that game winning shot too. When you talking about him and as a baller, right away from the cherry stripe, that was when I was expecting him to just shut everybody up, and then we can take these losses earlier on though.
But that's what I'm telling you. Just check out the lack of, the massive amount of scrutiny he's getting for the 3rd game. That's why I'm saying, like, if he doesn't get a championship here in LA, look, this year is an evaluation period. We get that. We understand that. But he got 3 more years after this.
No. This is Miami. This is Miami 2.0. The only difference is when it came to Miami, all of Miami was like, hell yeah.
I agree with you.
We got you. And in LA, it's not the case. Now, I personally don't understand it because I don't know what the the Lakers have done in the past couple of years that makes them feel entitled to do that.
It's the history.
Yeah, LeBron, as great as LeBron is and as big as LeBron is, he still is not bigger than the Lakers. And Lakers fans are reminding him that.
And that is the difference. That's the difference between Miami and Cleveland when he was with an organization like the Heat, who's my team, but still, I can keep it real. The Lakers are a bigger organization than the Heat, and of course, bigger than the Cavaliers. So the pressure and scrutiny is going to be more. Like, and this is LA. You gotta.
This is crazy.
Every game is going to be like this. Every single game. What did you say on the herd? People are going to start freaking out if they lose against the Suns. They're going to freak out. Think of how we're talking about it after 3 games. 4 games they lose to the Suns. People are going to lose their minds. Trade everybody is going to be absolute mayhem.
Check this out. So I was talking to Colin outside the show. And now LeBron's over on the West Coast. Before, when you had these big primetime TV games, you open it up with Cleveland over there.
Right.
And then you follow it up with a Golden State game.
Right.
So now that you got LeBron over here going the same time as Golden State, who does the networks choose to show? Is it L.A. or Golden State? I will say it's L.A. Lakers, that is, regardless of if they're successful or not. Because if the Lakers are winning, it's great. If the Lakers are losing, it's great too because LeBron James provides drama.
Yeah.
It provides so much drama and so much electricity, whatever. It provides.
And I think there's a little bit of Golden State fatigue, too.
That's a good point. That's a good point as well.
People may just prefer to see the Lakers as opposed to having to watch
the Warriors
on every late West Coast game.
Outside of Christmas Day for Golden State. Honestly.
I mean,
I can read the stat score. I've seen these people play the exact same way. When Boogie Cousins starts playing, then show me what the Warriors look like.
I kind of agree with you. Right? I can't really argue with that. Okay, so the brawl obviously was a huge deal. Were you at the game?
I was not. I chose to go home because I got LeBron fatigue because I was in Portland.
Oh, okay.
For that game.
Well, okay.
I chose to go.
But you heard there was a little fight. You heard there was a little fight?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. Okay, so my whole opinion about the fight is it is what it is. But there's like some underlying elements to why this happened. Like, I don't think that this was just a spur of the moment thing with Rondo and Chris Paul. Do you know anything about that?
Well, look. So there's obviously been bad blood between those two for a long time. And look, I want to shed some light on what I feel started this whole thing. And we're talking about Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo. But look, the league, when I talk about the league, I'm talking about players and coaches and some executives are getting highly frustrated with the way James Harden is being officiated. Brandon Ingram, look at that play that sent the whole thing up by storm.
Right.
James Harden initiating the contact, bumped Ingram. Ingram gets called for the foul, so he's pissed at that. Then he's pissed at the fact that he almost get tapped all the way into the front row of the stands. And so James Harden happens to come up, walk by him, and he pushes him, which is out of character for Brandon Ingram.
Right.
And so that's what started the whole thing. But what's going on is I've talked to multiple players. Players are getting irritated with the fact that James Harden is already a great player, but he's also getting allowed to take 2 more steps after the 2 steps that's allowed, and he's hooking people, and he's initiating contact, and nothing's going on. Something similar like the NFL, where they're protecting the quarterback,
right?
Allowing the quarterback. Right now, they're protecting the offense player. Draymond Green said something like this last night, where there's more emphasis on allowing these offensive players to just do more. And so, even though I know that probably didn't have a lot to do with Rondo and Chris Paul throwing at each other, but that's what started the whole thing.
Yeah, that was the genesis of the fight.
That was it.
So what is the NBA headed to whoever gets officiated less wins the MVP that year?
Well, the NBA wants more scoring. They want more offense. If you look at, what is it, the average team is scoring 112 points or something? 113. So they're like, they want more scoring. It's the same thing that's happening in the NFL.
That's the reason why they changed the rule to offense rebounds. The shot clock doesn't go back to 24, it go back to 14. So they want you to keep.
Yeah, they want to pick up pace of play.
Right.
So another team that is not doing the winning is OKC. Now, obviously, Westbrook, he had his knee scoped or whatever, so he had some things going on. I happen to be a big supporter of Westbrook because I find him entertaining. Now, he hasn't done the winning quite yet, which I'm going to need him to do, but I don't know if that's going to happen this year. So,
how many?
You said it, not me.
Yeah. I mean, so what's your opinion of the Thunder this year?
Me?
Yes, you.
The Thunder. Yes, I'm the Thunder.
Look, man, this West really, to me, it's a 2-team race. It's Golden State in the West. Golden State and Houston. And I'm a little bit down on Houston because I think they allow some players to go that I felt like who were excellent for that core. But with that being said, Westbrook, trying to figure out how I'm going to say this.
You got the words now. Drop the beat out, you got to listen.
So, there are certain players who don't like playing with ball dominant guys. LeBron James at times can be a player that people don't like playing with because he holds the ball a lot. Chris Paul is like that. Westbrook is like that. Guys who hold the ball for 18 of the 24 seconds and making sure that their passes lead to direct assists.
Right.
And not giving it to somebody else to get a hockey assist. So that gets irritating. But at the same time, Westbrook is a phenomenal player. To me, he's a top 6 player in this league, but he has yet to prove that he's a winner, or he has yet to prove that he knows how to make winning plays. And until he grasps that, they will continue to be exciting. He will continue to be exciting, but his team will still be irrelevant when it comes to contending teams.
Yeah, I don't think that's unfair. I find Russell Westbrook to be.
I held back.
You held back.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to.
He
really
lost
don't.
to the Utah Jazz last year in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Like that was the MVP.
Yeah.
The previous that is insane.
He also averaged a triple-double, so he deserved to be the MVP.
I'm trying to make sure my brother stay. He's a big Westbrook fan. I'm trying to make sure he stayed, but I don't want to bomb rush you from the back.
I mean, it's the same thing. When we saw them play pickup game, when we saw them
at UCLA,
play pickup, we saw the same inconsistencies in the games in the pickup game as well. Huh. Westbrook spent a lot of time on the floor after finishing shots. Did he not? When we saw him, when we watched play pickup, we saw Harden. I'm not. It's the same game. It's the same game, and I don't think Westbrook is in a position to ever win a bit. Like,
in order for him to win on a
too
big,
important for
on
him
a big
to
scale,
score.
He has to. I mean, I think like he has a piece now, and Paul George. Obviously, they have pieces around him. I feel like he needs to be more of a facilitator than he is a scorer, and I just don't know if that's part of his game. All right, so the East. I'm a little nervous about Toronto. So I picked Boston to go to the finals, but I mean, I feel like everyone forgot Kawhi Leonard's really fucking good at basketball.
I forgot.
The chair.
I forgot. No, I mean, look, man. Look, I don't want to overreact. It's only, 3 or 4 games in. Toronto looks good. Kawhi looks good. I was always kind of hesitant to go out there and just truly embrace Kawhi because I felt like, look, a lot of players in San Antonio, when you play in that system, the game is modified. You don't have to do too much. Like, there's not a lot of pick and roll opportunities outside of the point guard position that other guys get to do. Kawhi didn't have to do much over there. So in Toronto, his game is expanded, and I was wondering, like, okay, is he a system player, or can he go out there and do that against anybody? Yeah, he's proven he can do that against anybody, any system. So if health, look, I'm still going Boston. I'm still saying Boston, even though they started, they're 2-2 right now. But Toronto's looking scary, man. And if they continue if they go into this season, go into the postseason as a number 1 seed, boy, they have a good shot. They're going to do all they can to keep him. And
look, Kawhi is the best player in the East. He is. He's the best player in the East.
You can't say that.
Yes, I can. I just did.
Think about that.
Yes, I can. I just did.
Joe, let's think about that real quick. You got Kyrie out there. You got
Kyrie's very good.
You might be right.
I am right.
Oh no, Greek freak.
Oh, Greek.
Hold on. He's very good. Kawhi is the best player in the East. At me, bro. He's the best player in the East. Who's better? There are guys who are close. But Kawhi Leonard's better.
So if you're starting,
this is like your brain is frozen right now, trying to process it.
But
I'm right.
That guy right there. So if you're starting a team today, and you had to pick between Kawhi and Giannis,
I'm taking Kawhi.
No, I'm taking Giannis.
I'm taking Kawhi for sure.
I'm taking Giannis.
100%.
I'm taking Kawhi only because I can't wrap my mind around why Giannis is so good, so I don't know how to build around him.
And I like Giannis.
It seems like you can build around Kawhi because you know what he brings to the table.
But Kawhi is the best player in the East, and that's no disrespect to anyone who plays in the East.
I'll give you that.
He's just the best.
I'll give you that.
And I think what's happening with Toronto, and I'm certainly guilty of this, is I've never trusted Toronto because they're great regular season basketball. Congratulations on your regular season award. And then let's get to the playoffs and make something happen, and it's always the same thing.
Well, LeBron was there,
right? But they're different. But LeBron wasn't there with Kawhi. I don't know if it had gone the same way.
Well, Toronto's best players at the time were a mixture of Kyle Lowry on some nights and DeMar DeRozan on other nights,
right?
And them combined couldn't even beat LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different situation now. So
now.
I don't want to get caught into that same trap of like I've been saying for years that the Raptors are just no good in playoffs because they're not the same team anymore.
They're not, but
and I'm not reacting to 3 games either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's keep in mind it's 3 games.
Kawhi
set out
plays for the Raptors now,
and he set out. But going back to Giannis and Kawhi, we have to be aware of Kawhi's injury history as well. Let's see if he's going to withstand the test of time.
Okay.
I mean, we got some time to say it, but I like it. I don't disagree with you, Joe.
I'm talking about playoff Kawhi.
No, but
because Kawhi looks good now. They'll rest him throughout the season. I don't know. All I'm saying is I have faith in Kawhi. What's up with Melo? What are your thoughts on Melo so far?
I didn't like the move from the get go. Like I just didn't like the move.
You want to stay with the Hawks?
How long was he there? He about 5 minutes.
I don't know if he went. I didn't know he went. Passed by, went through Atlanta real quick.
I had a hot lunch.
Right.
You know, I love Carmelo as a person, man, but I really don't like many of the moves Houston made this offseason. Michael Carter Williams, what does he do for that? Carmelo was it? Who else there? Jeff Ennis. They got Trevor Ariza let him go. Mute let him go. Those are big 3D players.
I mean, they were a Chris Paul injury away from probably beating the Warriors.
They would have beat the Warriors.
On paper.
On paper, yes.
They would have beat the Warriors.
Yeah, no,
okay.
yeah.
They would have. But I just don't. Look, if Carmelo, it looked like he's trying to embrace this 6-man role, but I'm gonna wait and see. Bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait and see.
You're being very PC.
You gotta answer this one. Because you said the West is a one-team race. You said 2, but it's a one-team race, right? So where does LeBron end up in his first year with the Lakers? Like, what's the finish line?
You asked me this before the season. I said, I believe, 5th or 6th.
Okay.
Right now.
You seen some stuff?
Man. Right now, I'm going to go 7th or 8th seed right now.
From what? From these 3 games?
From these 3 games? Let me tell you.
I think they solidified themselves.
As what?
As competitive enough in the West.
How can you solidify yourself without winning the game yet?
Because LeBron James. He's a GM. He's playing chess match. And he's trying to see where people are going to go.
And he's the lone reason why I even say they're going to make the playoffs.
Exactly.
He's the lone reason. But let me tell you something right now. I'm not sold on nobody outside of Kuzma, Josh Hart, Ingram a little bit. That's about it.
Okay, so here's a question. Why is Lance Stevenson playing so much?
Well, he's actually balling.
But he's playing so much.
But who else going to play aside of him?
I mean, I feel like if you're going to be losing games, this is the time of the year where you should be messing with the lineup a little bit. Like, why is Beasley not getting in there for a few minutes?
You don't think Lance Stevenson playing so much is messing with the lineup real quick?
I mean, that's kind of, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like LeBron is literally doing his dubs right now, and we're trying to analyze his chess moves. We don't even know what he's doing. We don't know.
We know you need shooters. Like, isn't that what you brought Beasley there for? I mean, I'm not just campaigning just for Beasley, but I just feel like Lance Stevenson's getting a lot of minutes.
We still haven't seen Mud play together, have we? The Mud lineup.
Really, if we're being brutally honest,
that's what we are doing.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Talk to us.
On that roster, there's only 6 players, probably about 6 that should play anyway. Period.
6?
Only about 6.
In the NBA or with LeBron?
No, on that Lakers squad.
Okay.
And right now, what I've seen after 3 games, it should be a 6-man rotation. And on some nights, don't even bring the bench in. Just start the 5. But I tell you right now, and I love KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Do you?
But it's time to bring it's time to bring that boy Josh Hart up in that start lineup.
I agree with that.
Yeah. It's time.
He's earned it.
Yeah. It's time. Yeah. After what I've seen enough. 3 games is enough. Yeah. That boy's a baller. He's legit. Put him in there. Let's see what. But Joy, you take Lance out. Who else you putting in?
I just feel like you need to. I'm not saying take Lance out. I'm just saying mess with the lineup a little bit more. Like I feel like Lance is getting. He's not playing badly.
This roster is messed with. The roster construction is messed with. We all knew this. That's why most people laugh when they seen all these JaVale, Lance getting together and Beasley. We all laugh. We know it's a messed with roster. It's being messed with right now.
The entire NBA, inclling the Lakers, are auditioning. Yeah, no, we back. I got right there. It was just the lean, the weight thing.
I feel like we brought in like the little kids chair. Yeah. Like you know how like the daycares have like the baby toilets. We brought like the little kids chair for you.
Listen, I'm a little low. This is mini me right now. Listen, the Lakers right now are auditioning to stay on that team, right? Is that possible?
Yeah, sure.
And then also other players in the NBA are auditioning to get on the Lakers. Either this season or next season. Yes. So this whole incubation period of like whatever experiment we're watching is all fun to talk about. But guess what? The Lakers are way more exciting right now than they were when. What were they the first 3 games last year? I don't even know. It doesn't even matter.
No, it's definitely.
I mean, I'm here. I'm here. Thank you, LeBron.
Right.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, see, exactly.
Sure, I'm here. Win or lose, I'm here in Los Angeles.
Palm trees.
Sure.
I gotta watch dad go to Staples Center later on, man. Watch LeBron play.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now that you've done the podcast, next time we expect you to come in with no holding back. Sorry, brother, if you're the reason why he's not unleashing. Because he don't want to keep it around.
I'll
real
get
about
it
Westbrook.
next time. Let get loosened up.
Yeah, loosened up.
I feel like I gotta get out this attire, man.
Bring another fit next time you come.
No, for sure.
If you want to. If not, it's fine. We don't mind being underdressed. That's what we do. But we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Chris Haynes, for joining us. That was good stuff.
Yes.
Next time he comes on, we will get him to keep it all the way funky about some things.
He was trying. He was protecting some. He was.
Yeah, you know what it is? Like we should put a sign on the door. Like real ones only or something. You know what I mean? Just to like set the tone.
Yes, I know, but he was being a real one.
We should be that, and then as soon as every guest comes in, let's play like some Wu-Tang.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let's just set the tone so that it is very relaxed for like a real one atmosphere.
Right.
You know
Opposite of yoga.
Don't let all the lights fool you.
Like a yoga studio with talking.
Yeah.
I can't participate in that. There's no talking. Talk afterwards. You've all day to talk. This is the 1 hour of my day where there's one person talking, and that is the yoga instructor.
No.
I support you.
Thank you, Heller.
Roll that mic.
I'm trying desperately to get my Zen on for the benefit of all mankind. I am someone who needs to get my Zen on frequently.
For me, for sure.
Yes. I listened to meditation on the way into work today.
What was the word for today?
It was about relieving anxiety, but I had turned it off because it was getting way too mellow and I needed to be waking up.
Oh, okay. I thought you turned it off.
And then I put sicko mode on, so it was all good.
Woo! Still good. Still so good.
Yeah. All right. So, what am I winning or quitting today?
With it. With it. Quit it.
What?
With it. We about to turn up in this bitch.
In the second game of the NBA season, LeBron and the Mean Dream Team put on a good show against the Houston Rockets. Then, with 4 minutes left in the fourth, Rajon Rondo allegedly spit on Chris Paul's face, which led Rondo to non-allegedly punching Chris Paul in the face. Brandon Ingram came in and threw some punches as well. Although the basketball game turned into an actual fight, Joy, LeBron's Lakers lost the game but won the war. With it or quit it. You don't take the drink right when I asked to with it.
I was very thirsty. I'm gonna wit that.
Yes.
I'm gonna wit that.
Tell me why.
Okay, so Earl and I went to the game, and I gotta tell you, I did not see this brawl coming. Kind of, but not to the level that it reached. Like I was very happy that the brawl happens.
Because the pageantry. Tell me about the pageantry before. Like, why did you not expect it?
I mean, like we all know the Heat's intros are the best in the league. Like
the Heat throw a party every game.
Everything is a party. There's flames. I mean, Michael Biamonte, the voice of the Heat, is just incredible. There's not a mariachi band
Something
at all,
like it.
but it's very hype. Okay, and it's loud and there's lights and there's just nothing else like it. The Lakers is a little bit more traditional. The intros, but it was definitely a scene. I mean, Floyd Mayweather was there. He's at most games though. Like, you know, Jack Nicklaus, Adam Levine. Like there was Kate Beckinsale was there.
She
is she there often?
She likes to be seen by the most people.
I mean, was that a whistle?
Smashing though.
Kate Beckinsale.
She looks good.
Yeah.
She looks good.
That's what she does for a living,
She was wearing, that is what she does for a living.
She's been fine.
Yeah, she has been fine. I love her in Underworld.
Yes.
I love her in Underworld.
Underworld's a sleeper
What else
series.
has she been in? I honestly don't know. Pearl Harbor? I don't
Pearl
watch that.
Harbor.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I didn't watch that movie.
Like...
Anyway, more importantly, the fight. So... Here's the thing.
Talk to me.
There's a lot happening, and a lot has happened since the fight, so there's a lot to break down here, but this is my overall opinion on the fight. Rondo, you can't put guys like Rondo and Lance Stevenson and JaVale McGee on your squad and expect for shit like this not to go down.
Yes.
I mean, that's what you signed up for. That was literally the entire point of having them on the team was you wanted some dog on your team.
Yep.
Well, you got it. Okay.
Got all the dogs.
All of it. Okay. So as Chris Haynes mentioned, the start of it was Brandon Ingram, but like if you looked away for 1 second, you were gonna miss that push, right? On James Harden. And that really wasn't like while that was the genesis of the fight, and I think he is right. People are sick of the way that Harden's being officiated. That beef, Rondo and Chris Paul, was not about that. That was just an opportunity.
Oh my gosh, they were sitting there sparring verbally before the punches were thrown.
So they're fighting verbally, and then the spit happens, which, like, look, as I was discussed with the yoga situation, there's just certain things that you do, you're ready to fight.
Yeah.
Rondo wanted to fight.
Yeah, that's why he spit on him.
Because 99.9% of the time you spit on somebody, you got to throw hands. So Rondo wanted to fight. That's what I assume. Okay, which is fine.
And Chris Paul came back with a finger poke to the face.
Right. So the finger poke.
Poke to the face.
So after lots of internet digging and different camera views, we have all as a society decided that Rondo spit or gleeked on Chris Paul. Okay, there was some spittle.
Yes.
Right. And Chris Paul came back with the finger point, which has not been my reaction, but that's fine. And I think what happened was Chris Paul didn't expect for Rondo to punch him. I think he thought that the finger point was going to happen. There was going to be some pushing and shoving, some forehead fighting, as we discussed. And then the NBA refs are going to break it up. Everyone's going to pull them apart, and that was going to be that.
Now LeBron's Lakers.
Not on LeBron's Lakers.
No.
So Rondo hits him like this.
Yes, with the left.
And then with the left.
Yeah.
And then there's some return shoving, and then another punch from Chris Paul, and then it's broken up. So I mean, I'm gonna give round one to Rondo, just for the quickness.
Yes.
But
and LeBron in the banana boat, buddy. They went over there and talked.
So this is where it gets fuzzy for me. You can't do that. That's the biggest that's the biggest part of this whole brawl that is not really being discussed. Obviously on Twitter, and NBA Twitter was much discussed.
Of course.
But in the mainstream, I haven't heard much about it. You can't walk away with Chris Paul if you're LeBron. Now we know LeBron is
not with your arm around his shoulder.
No, we know that LeBron is not a confrontational guy, which is fine. Be who you are. But there's just certain things that you can't do when you're trying to establish a culture, when you're bringing somebody in like Rondo, when you're trying to teach people, when you're saying to Kuzma, stay down, we're going to come over and pick you up, like, we brothers got you. And then, when shit really goes down, really goes down, not like a regular basketball forehead fight, a real actual, you fight and fight and fight.
Right.
You have to, I'm fine with you pushing somebody away. I'm fine with him pushing Chris Paul away, or dragging him away, but then you got to go back. Like, you can't walk him to half court. You just can't do it. It's not a good look.
Yeah, it felt, obviously it's not orchestrated. I don't think these things are planned. I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist, but the way LeBron James handled it before the fight, during the fight, and afterwards with his comments, it just feels kind of like so what from him, which is kind of weird because it's an actual NBA fight. Last season we talked about the fact that NBA players ain't about the brawl life, but you messed with the wrong one. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. Rajon Rondo is here for the fights, and he is inciting chaos.
And that's fine because
that's what he's supposed to do.
What Rondo does. This is not
what LeBron brought him here for.
Not as advertised. Okay, but the problem is Rondo's on your team now, and there are no friends on the court. Like, you can not get involved. Harden was not involved.
Right.
Lonzo was not involved.
Yes.
Ingram chose to involve himself. Now he's suspended for 4 games, which I don't agree with him running in and throwing a punch. But you do what you feel like you got to do in that situation. Punches are being thrown. Yeah. So, and you started it. Yeah. So I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah. And Chris said he's out of character. It's like, we don't even know who Brandon Ingram is at this point.
But I will say, I do think that that's going to have a kind of ripple effect with someone like Rondo, that LeBron, like, whose side are you on, dog? It's fine that you can be friends with Chris Paul off the court. Nobody cares who you're friends with off the court. On the court, you got to ride for your team. Like, that's, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an in-locker room conversation, like, look, because Rondo's not scared of LeBron.
Right, but LeBron also don't got no friends on that team.
Okay, well, that would have been a good way to make friends.
But he said he's not trying to. He's generaling on the court.
I mean, that was on the court.
No friend zone.
No, it needs to be friend zone. Friend zone. If we go out in public and somebody starts fighting you, well, you got to fight. No, you're fighting now.
If I'm out on the street with LeBron, I know he's not about to smoke. So he's not going to be about to smoke regardless of where we're at.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have any problem with them pushing him away or pulling him away. Like, that happens all the time. But you can't walk him all the way to half court. It can't be this whole production thing. It got to the point where Chris Paul was pushing him off of him. Like, I got it.
No, because LeBron always trying to incite himself into stuff. Leave Drake and Pusha T alone. Leave Rondo and Chris Paul alone. You don't have to be in the middle of everything.
I just feel like it's not the best. It's not the best look. And I feel like there'll be a conversation about how that all went down internally. at some point.
Yeah.
Especially the LeBron's reaction to it. So interesting stuff, though. We love that. And they're 0-3. So
yeah. You said it. You were right. You said it. Struggling first half of the season. Okay, right. Moving on. Eric Reid had some things to say to Malcolm Jenkins. Eric Reid has been on Kaepernick's side since 2016 when he started kneeling in protests of black people in America being murdered by police officers, as you so eloquently put it. During that time, Eagle safety Malcolm Jenkins also knelt in protest, and along with some others started the Players Coalition in effort to end the players protesting. The league donated $90 million towards player clauses, and none of those went to Colin Kaepernick getting back into the league. Eric Reid had some things he wanted to say to Malcolm Jenkins about it before the game. Afterwards, he said, I believe Malcolm capitalized on the situation. He co-opted the movement that was started by Colin to get his organization funded. It was cowardly. He sold us out. Joy, calling Malcolm Jenkins a sellout is going too far. With it or quit it?
Strong question. I'm going to go with yes, it's going too far. But so I'm going to with that. But there's some caveats to this. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes in this story. Like everything that you just described is true. That Eric Reid is kind of like Kaepernick's partner in all of this, if you will. Like he was with him from the very beginning. Kaepernick started it, so Kaepernick got all the attention. And if you remember, Eric Reid was not in the league up until recently as well. Yeah. So he paid the price for protesting and being outspoken about it also. And I think how he feels and how Colin Kaepernick feels is like Malcolm Jenkins kind of jumped on board with this while it was already rolling and kind of became the face of it because he was more accepted by NFL owners and by, executives as being like, you're the acceptable face of this protest because this, that, and the other. And you don't have the stipulation that we must involve Kaepernick in this, which we're not going to budge on, which became pretty obvious. Now, look, as far as how everything shook out with the money and what the NFL compromised on, I don't really know how to feel about that because I don't think that you can necessarily put a dollar sign on a movement, but also the world gets moved by money. So it's kind of like the yin and yang of the evils of the world. Like if in order for you to get stuff done, you have to pay things. Mm-hmm. Stuff costs money. Yeah. Otherwise, what the is GoFundMe for? Okay, so stuff costs money, but it's where's your money coming from, right? Like you can get a lot of money, but perhaps it's blood money, or and then in which case that money it has some karma on it,
or like shush money,
or whatever. All money doesn't come from the same place, is what I'm saying. So I understand how Eric Reid feels. I don't know every single detail, and as there are always extra details and personal things that go on in these situations. Mm-hmm. But so based off of the information that we have, which is that Eric Reid and Colin Kaepernick, obviously, because he stood in support with Eric Reid after the altercation and everything that he said, they feel like Malcolm Jenkins sold them out. They feel like he jumped into the protest and the whole movement late and just became the acceptable face of the movement because he was willing to take the money and kind of calm the situation down.
Right.
So I'm okay with feeling that way. I don't necessarily 100% agree with it because I do feel like at one point or another, you have to come to an agreement in order to get things done.
Right.
My bigger takeaway, though, is this fighting like amongst each other in the middle of the field stuff. Mm-hmm. Like Shannon was talking about it. Why couldn't you pick up the phone and just have that conversation? Or why not have that face to face? Like you can find him. He's not hard to find.
Yeah.
Most people these days are not hard to find.
Yeah.
So it's not that complicated. If you wanted to confront him, you can't just say like, oh well, I wanted to see him, and this is the only place that I could see him. Like no. You could easily find this guy.
No,
you could have that face-to-face conversation, not in the middle of the field, not where everyone is going to take that. You have to be aware of how you're perceived, and I understand it. Like I get it, and I watched the interview with Eric Reid afterwards, and he's talking about James Baldwin and like to be black and like I'm parafrasing, but like
black
partially woke and conscious in America is to be angry all the time, and like I get that, I understand that, but you have to put things into perspective. You can't allow the other side to have one breadcrumb to grow with.
Yes, because I think you're talking about being aware of what you look like. You got to be aware of the cause that you're representing,
right?
And now we're in a position where people who didn't even know that this caused there was any separation.
Yeah, most people didn't even know that there was any arguments going on.
You have to promote a united front regardless. That's why it should have been handled off screen. It should have been handled behind the scenes a long time ago before Eric Reid even got back into the NFL. And they can hash those things out. And that's what I don't necessarily like about Kaepernick coming out and tweeting like I'm with Eric, because you're promoting a way of handling a situation that, in my opinion, is going to do anything but add detriment to it. It's
counterproductive.
Right.
And listen, like, there's no reason Kaepernick shouldn't be in the NFL. I mean, you're trotting Derek Anderson out there. It's and this is no disrespect to Derek Anderson, but it's an embarrassment. Like, it really is.
The Bills need a quarterback.
Nathan Peterman, like, it's an embarrassment. I mean, I know a lot of people feel like he's still capable, but Blake Bortles, like, I told you, he loves throwing to the other team. Like, maybe someone needs to sit down and explain to him, like, there's an offense and a defense. Everybody's not on your team.
The great Blake Bortles could use a backup.
There's another team. The team that's wearing the colors that's not your team colors, don't throw to them.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. But the point is, and don't hit me with Kaepernick stats. Like, I don't want to hear it. Okay. There's no reason why he shouldn't have had an opportunity to play in the NFL, and he probably still could play in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You have Derek Anderson out there. Like, Derek Anderson is playing football. Okay. So I'm a 100% supporter of Colin Kaepernick and everything he does. I've gone over that a million times. All I'm saying is, with this situation, I feel like handle it internally. Like, it's not even about a united front. It's about, like, the awareness of where we are as a society, and, like, any crack in the message and anything is going to be attacked to the fullest. Like, you can't let anything in, no matter what. And that's so important, and the optics of it. And I know it's like, oh, like it's corporate or whatever. Like, you're not going to take down the whole system. There's never going to be a point in the history of the earth where everything just stops. Everyone in the whole world just stops moving, and you go up to every person and explain to them that, like, Christopher Columbus really didn't discover America, and he's actually like a rapist and murderer. Shouldn't be celebrated. Okay, so just erase that. Okay, figure that out. Okay, like white people did not establish North America. There were millions of people that lived here before that. Okay, we can do that. Like, slavery was evil and existed for 400 years, and there's still some things that last from that. Okay, like, there's a whole Jim Crow era. Like, oh, you're gonna break everything down for everybody. All right, and then all of a sudden everyone's gonna be like, oh.
So no,
I agree. I'm no longer racist. I never knew that was a thing.
Actually welcome this time.
You know, my grandparents, maybe they were just a little off with that, how they felt about that. It's not going to happen. So you can't break down all of society. You want to do it one person at a time. And if you think that way, it's just kind of like how Jesus said, just one soul at a time. One soul at a time. That's all you need. I know it seems small, but butterfly effect, Yeah. Just spread the word.
Spread the red words.
The woke word.
Yeah, the
words of wokeness.
And people want us to stay out of politics. We'll tell them to keep it off the field. How about that? How about that, guys?
Stay out of politics.
How about that?
I think we're past that. People are still saying that.
People still say that.
That's lame.
I know.
Oh, it's so weak.
It's lazy now.
It's so lazy.
Right? I don't agree. Just
so
say that.
Lazy.
Okay, back to football.
Okay.
All right, sticking with football, but not on the woke side of things. When the season starts, every NFL fan base hopes that their team can win a Super Bowl. But every year around week 7, we see which teams really wish they had fraud protection. Fraud protection. Fraud protection.
You sound like Dabo.
Fraud protection.
Fraud.
Gruden's Raiders, Joy's Dolphins, Garoppolo's 49ers due to injury, but there's one team with a lot of talent that seems like the biggest disappointment to me, Joy. The Giants are the NFL's biggest frauds. With it or quit it.
I'm going to win that. So yes! I'm winning everything today. I'm winning everything today. Yes. The New York Giants are the biggest frauds. They paid Odell a ton of money.
A lot. He gets paid next year, though, right?
They opted out of drafting a quarterback and went with Saquon.
I mean, opted out.
So they convinced us that Eli had a few more years.
Or Saquon, just like you, best player on the board.
You should take the best player on the board overall, unless you really need a specific position.
Agreed.
That is more important than the best player on the board.
Yes, agreed.
If you have, I don't know, 3 competent right tackles, and a right tackle is the best player on the board, but you have an incompetent quarterback, maybe you just take the quarterback,
Less capable and incapable quarterback, maybe?
Saquon's a good player, and it's not. I know Saquon keeps catching heat for being the pick, but that's just because the quarterback is super, super fucking important. And Eli looks broken. And I don't like that because I don't like picking on Eli because I feel like Eli has been picked on a lot, despite the fact that he brought his team 2 championships. And I want to hear about the defense. And like you can't give quarterbacks all the critiques and then all the praise. Like it's one or the other. Like either the quarterback was partially responsible for that or he wasn't. Like Trent Dilfer, yeah, okay, like all-time great defense, but he still managed to get them to score some points. Yeah. So it's fine. Like
managed.
I'm not saying
you got to manage the game.
Okay, fine, but everybody can do that.
Well, I'm saying,
we discussed Derek
to.
Anderson earlier. Okay, that's the thing. But I think the biggest fraud, and by fraud I mean somebody who we had some level of expectations for coming into the year, who've been very, very, very stinky, is the Giants. Now you can say the Colts, but like we didn't really know what Andrew Luck was going to be coming into the season, so I'm not going to flip out about the Colts. The 49ers, obviously we had huge expectations for, but they're not the team that we expected coming in because Jimmy Garoppolo is hurt.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, I mean, look, like I expected them to be a little bit better than this, but their offensive line is straight trash. And that's obvious. And Josh Rosen has no chance because he's running for his life. So that doesn't work. The Raiders only had expectations because, let's keep it real, John Gruden's making $100 million. If he wasn't making $100 million,
no,
he's
$100 million. I'm sorry. Don't.
I can't. Why does he do that?
I don't know. I don't.
It's so strange. It's strange behavior.
You got to push through.
Anyway, yeah. You know what? I'm zen. I'm zen.
Yes.
What did we say earlier? I'm planting. I'm a plant.
No, we didn't say that earlier.
I'm growing my branches.
When did you tell us that? Was that in the car?
I'm what? Tree. Yeah,
they said that. They said that in the car.
In yoga?
About being a tree.
What are you talking about? And then the Bills.
What are you talking
the Bills,
about?
Obviously, like I didn't have any expectations for the Bills, and the Dolphins are nonsense.
Bills went to the playoffs last year.
Okay, yeah, and then they got rid of Tyrod Taylor.
Right,
Smooth move, bro. Yeah. Smart.
No.
Smart. Although I like whatever his name is.
Who?
Josh. The other Josh.
Tall Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Josh Allen.
The other Josh.
He's funky.
Huh?
He
he doesn't know how to use a revolving door. That would have dropped his draft stock for me. I gotta keep it real.
These guys.
Didn't he have a tweet or two too?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course. Who else got stuck in that revolving door with him? There was 2
Sam
people.
Darnold.
Sam Darnold? No, was it Baker?
Baker
Baker would
Darnold.
never.
It was Sam
Baker
Darnold.
would never. Baker has too much swag to get stuck in a revolving door. I actually don't believe in revolving doors. I don't.
Like,
if I
don't
ever
believe
have
in
an
sharks?
opportunity to not walk through the revolving door, I'm not going through the revolving door.
Why? What do they do?
What if
to
I
you?
get stuck? I don't want to be stuck in a revolving door.
You don't want to be stuck and seen?
Huh?
The only problem with you can be stuck anywhere.
I'm
The only problem with
claustrophobic.
the revolving door is being stuck and seen.
And seen? I don't want to be stuck in the
Like stuck in like a cage
I
and
don't
just
like
looking
those
like
things. You know those what are those things at the stadium? Those stupid revolving things.
Twisty
you walk
turning
through.
thing.
Yeah.
Those. What are those? The
Oh, it's just
turnstiles?
awful,
Like the
yeah.
full body turnstiles?
Full body turnstiles?
Yeah. That's
What?
It's like something from Saul.
It is. It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
no
yeah.
parts of
Final
this.
Destination.
Low-key,
That's
it's
what
like it's old technology that we
It is
moved
old
past. There's like
technology.
there's automatic
There's
doors
so
now.
many
like,
old
come on now.
technology.
Yeah,
What
there's
do we need?
nonsense.
Speaking of old
we need
technology.
nostalgia
And
doors.
The
like, come
automatic,
on.
the automatic revolving doors are even more terrifying.
Yeah, no.
Because at,
Right, but the ones
at
that
least the
slide
human
open seem
operated
safe.
ones are like it's very limited chances.
Satellite dishes. Why? We need those big ass dishes to get a signal still? Hanging out at people's apartments? Come on.
We have not figured out how to get, you know.
You can put a Harry Potter wine out there, I think, and get the same reception right now. It's 2018.
I know.
Them big ass
if
dishes.
If you're an inventor and you figured out a better way to get me television, please hit me up. I'm willing to angel invest. I'm so over
Cut
that.
the cord.
The bad. Yeah, but then you got to do Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Wi-Fi's and they
Listen,
net neutrality.
I'm not gonna say who. Yeah, thank you. Who provides me with Wi-Fi? But
They should do better.
As Ashley knows,
Terrible.
I have terrible Wi-Fi,
So
and I
bad.
don't understand why. I've tried to get rid of it. It is
Yeah.
impossible. I don't know what the problem is.
Monopolies,
Every
man.
day at 7 p.m., my Wi-Fi decides to stop working for 25 minutes. It's the strangest thing.
My
and then
dad
it's just slow for
unplugs
the rest of the
Wi-Fi at
night.
night to save money.
Your dad does unplug the Wi-Fi. Does he know it's a monthly charge regardless?
You know what? I think it's like an energy thing.
He's trying to save like electricity.
I don't know, but the
How
flip,
much electricity does he think comes out
the
of the
box
Wi-Fi
definitely
machine?
gets clicked off at night.
That's so insane.
Bed night time for Wi-Fi.
For the
No
Wi-Fi?
more internet.
Does he know he's still being charged actively while the Wi-Fi is
I
unplugged?
don't think he's trying to save money. I think the energy from the modem, he hears it running. He's like, "Yep, cut that off."
Anyway, we didn't even talk about the Giants, but they need
Giants bad.
They need a new quarterback.
Boring football.
And also, Odell doesn't have to pee in his pants. Okay, let's just say
Oh.
it. He doesn't have to pee in his pants. Did
He
they
gotta
have
do
white
something.
pants on last night?
It don't matter what color you pee when you.
I'm pretty sure they had white pants on.
He's not. If he has a pee stain, there's some other problems. He can check what he's putting in his body, because he should drink enough water.
He doesn't like water. It's swishy in the stomach.
What is that thing about the water? What's your take on water?
I mean, I think water is very important, which is why I don't believe in plastic straws.
Straws on the hot seat.
Straws
2018.
Straws are on the hot seat.
Get rid of satellite dishes and.
Plastic is on the hot seat in 2018.
Yes.
Actually.
Plastic, yeah, we don't like plastic.
Bigotry too.
Well, no, we don't. Bigotry's been on the hot seat for a long time.
I feel it now more than ever.
You feel it?
I think racism is on the hot seat. I think bigotry's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how we got into that. Anyway, like the Giants are not good. They fake us out.
We got a stat-based podcast today.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Raiders are petty. So, lots of stuff going on with the Raiders. Obviously, Amari Cooper was just traded to the Cowboys for a first-round pick because they love first-round picks. Apparently, John Gruden thinks that he's going to be the draft master.
Right.
We'll find out. But according to Marcus Thompson of The Athletic, Derek Carr now has a bad relationship with his teammates, fractured relationship, because a video appeared on the internet that showed what looked like him crying after injuring his arm. Now, here's the thing, okay? I think we're at the point, it's 2018, like, men are allowed to cry.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right?
Yeah.
So, and, like, the thing is, it's okay. Like, if you got injured and you cry, I'm all right with it. Like, it's not the best look, but Derek Carr is not somebody that I've ever considered to be a soft quarterback. Derek Carr has gotten f***ed up. And, like, he's actually, I don't call a lot of quarterbacks tough. Like, I would say Andrew Luck is tough. I would say that Derek Carr is tough. I would say Ben Roethlisberger is tough.
Yeah.
Like, there's quarterbacks out there who, even though they're still quarterbacks, I would consider to be on the tough side.
Right. There's a difference between tough and careless. I feel like Deshaun Watson is leaning more towards careless than tough, but he gets up.
Like, RG3's been injured a lot, but he's also decided he wasn't going to slide.
Right.
A lot.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, I don't understand why everyone's slipping out. He's come in defense of himself, saying that he wasn't actually crying. Was he crying? Was he not crying? It's Crygate.
No, he wasn't. I'm okay with men crying. Crying via injury on field is not available, I don't think.
What do you mean?
I don't think you're allowed to.
How do you even control yourself?
You can control if you cry or not.
Okay, first of all, if you get a season-ending injury and you cry, I have absolutely no problem with that. There are a lot of emotions that go into that. You know your season is over. Possibly, in some cases, your career could be over. I'm totally fine with that. Now, that wasn't that serious in this situation. But so what? Like, they're 1-5. Maybe he's just upset.
But the cry face, while asking to be helped up.
He does have a very strong cry face.
Yes, the cry face. And I've been at Ball State. We beat Toledo on election night, and they were ranked. And afterwards, there's a bunch of cameras on me, and everyone said I was crying. I was not. I was excited, and I was very happy. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. We did it. But I wasn't crying. I was making her cry. I was making an emotional I care face. There's a difference between an I care face.
We might need to do some investigation on that. You may have outed yourself.
No, there's a difference between emotion face and cry face. Derek Carr definitely had cry face and was asked to be helped up like a baby. That's the problem. He looked like an infant.
I'm just saying, if you're a guy and you want to cry, it's okay. Don't be petty about the tears. I ruled it. So it shall be.
Do I have something to say once you've ruled it? No. That just lay out?
Yeah. Lily! Is it?
At the night show. Ooh.
So, Cowboys are on the come up again.
Right.
Yeah, remember the last 2 years when Cowboys were like a really big deal? We were talking about them every day. And then this year they've been so boring and annoying. No, and it's been like, oh my God, they're going to fire Jason Garrett. That's like the biggest story.
Pretty sure they've been mentioned every week. And also been saying that they are good.
Are they good, or is the NFC East just doo-doo?
No, they're good.
Okay. Well, they did just get better, according to me at least. So they just traded for Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. They traded a first-round pick to the Raiders. They lost to the Redskins. Boo-hoo.
Raiders got a lot of those.
To the R words on Sunday, 20-17.
Because of a fraudulent call.
Yeah, or they missed the field goal and Jason Garrett wasn't even trying to win, but it's fine. Anyway, Cooper was the 4th overall pick in the 2015 draft.
Yes.
And here's the thing. At the beginning of the season, we were like, oh my God, who's Dak Prescott going to throw to? Cole Beasley. That's cool. Who else they got? They've got like some other guys that play receiver.
They signed
Gallup, Allen Hurns.
Yeah. Okay, so the point is Allen Hurns. Yeah. So now they have Amari Cooper, and everyone's freaking out about. Okay, thank you. About the first round draft pick. And here's the thing about draft picks. I don't care about your stupid draft picks.
I
don't care. That. I've never understood that. What is this stockpiling? Give me all the draft picks. No. I don't get it.
When you get them, though.
Yeah, when you hit. Do you know how many draft picks are busts? I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's a lot. And you know what Amari Cooper is.
Not a lot of first rounders.
Okay, look.
There's some busts.
There's not a lot of first round draft busts.
There's not.
Ain't a lot. I'm
not talking like Mario. Are you considering
anybody in the first round bust?
Javion Clowney a bust?
No.
Okay,
you're just gonna pick one random player.
I'm saying he's
the
guy who didn't like pop off the screen that next year.
All I'm saying is
over time,
this draft pick thing. Like obviously, you would like to not give a first round draft pick up, but you need a wide receiver, and you are likely going to have to draft a wide receiver in the draft next year anyway.
Exactly.
And you know what Amari Cooper is, and he's not old or washed up or whatever. So, and you need to see if Dak Prescott can actually play. And this whole idea that you don't need a number one wide receiver. Who?
Of course you do.
Who said that? Whose idea was that?
Of course.
Whose idea was that over there? Was that Jason Garrett's idea?
I mean, I've never admitted that Jason Garrett's ever had a good idea. So.
Ashley is our resident Cowboys expert.
Jason Garrett.
An apologist. All right, moving on. Patrick Mahomes is lit again this week.
Yes.
He leads the league in touchdown passes with 22. Put a strong whooping on those Bengals.
Dang.
You know, I expected them to win, but not like that. That was an embarrassment. Whew.
Are the Bengals kind of like the Falcons in this like good but not bad, but also bad?
Like, sometimes they're good, but they're not that good. But are they good?
Like
they're
Matt
bad,
Ryan
though.
and Andy Dalton.
But
like
you
how
look at their
similar
record,
are
and
those
then you're
two?
like, maybe they're good.
Right?
Can they ever win? I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, he beat Kurt Warner's record, and he's thrown 8 touchdowns in the last 2 games. So he's still lit. He just can't stop, and I love it.
He's exactly what we deserve. And he's perfect for the NFL right now.
We do deserve Patrick Mahomes. We deserve Patrick Mahomes. You're right about that, Brandon. How was your Louisville weekend? Because that's the last on the lit list this week.
Louisville weekend, whatever. Louisville as a whole is lit. Rondo got into a scuffle. LeBron James brought him over. You know what I'm saying?
We talked about that.
You know, and I just want to say, we put it out in the ether. My brother met Rondo in Louisville while he was working one day and told him about maybe I'm crazy. And he's like, oh, yeah, maybe get in a fight on your first home game.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So it was a little bit of prophesizing. Anyways, and then Purdue beating Ohio State, coached by Jeff Brom, a Louisville great. I'm just saying, Louisville out here in the sports world, name the most famous person from Louisville.
Muhammad Ali.
Yes, the Newman brothers and Muhammad Ali, and there might be some connection. We will talk about it in another episode. I just want to say, Louisville's lit.
You swear you're Ali's son. You swear.
I know I don't. I would not do that to my dad.
You swear.
On air.
On air. All right, loser power rankings. Loser power rankings. Loser power rankings. These are the losers of the week. Hue Jackson. So have we put the Browns in the losers yet so far?
I think Hue Jackson's definitely losers because what he's been doing, right?
It's a good thing you wore a raincoat today.
What?
Brandon is sweating because we just took a dance break.
Yes,
for Lumity. Never leave you.
Never leave you.
Yes. Which is the jam.
Yes.
And so he decided to stop recording and just start dancing. And Brandon gets hot. So that's why he decided to pour water all over himself.
So the thing is, the Browns, they need to do something on offense to score more points to win games.
Correct. But that's not why they're losers, surprisingly enough. It's because Hue Jackson lost his mind and decided that after that loss that he was going to say that he needs to take over play calling duties from Todd Haley, who's his offensive coordinator. Yeah, he did. He did say it.
You think he said it?
I'm pretty sure he said it because I heard it. I actually played it. I did it in Headline News.
I know, but I was confused.
I think we did it twice.
No, I know, but I was confused when I heard it. I was like, what is he really saying?
He's saying that they're stinky, which we know, which we expect. There's not that much flexibility in what he said. He said that that's what he does, and then he repeatedly wanted to tell everyone that he's the head coach, which no one's forgotten you. No one has forgotten that.
Yeah, that's very insecure.
It's so insecure to say like I'm the head coach or like I'm the host or like I'm the brother. It's like you and a sister. Like I'm the brother. Like. Yes.
I'm the bride getting married today.
Yes.
And
exactly.
But sometimes, it's true sometimes though. Sometimes you have to use the leverage you have.
No, sometimes you have to remind people.
Right.
But in general, you don't need to say it 3 times.
Right.
One time is more than effective.
Right.
And especially in this situation because no one cares. Like when you were the offensive coordinator
right.
for the last 2 years, y'all won 1 game in 2 years.
Right.
So maybe offensive coordinator is not the thing you should be doing.
Right.
In general.
And
okay?
also he's bragging about like what you're saying over and over again is the problem.
Right, and more importantly, like, this is just not what winning organizations do.
No.
You don't go out and look, like, I don't think I care anymore. I think I am get off my lawn guy, and I think I'm okay with that. I'm willing to own that.
Yeah,
I am aware of my get off my lawn-ness,
yes.
and this is a get off my lawn Like, don't go out there and say that your offensive coordinator basically sucks at his job. You can't do that. Like, you saying that you need to take over play calling duties publicly is completely undermining your offensive coordinator. Yeah, you need to help. You need to step in. It sounds like you're taking over what he does. A good leader hires good people to do what they're good at and then lets them do that. I'm not saying you need to let him go rogue. You can't toss some suggestions this way. Like, hey, I got this really fancy play. It worked once against the Ravens in 2004. Throw it his way. Maybe it'll work again. Who knows? Right. But taking over play calling duties and flipping out on the podium is not helping anything. And then he came yesterday or today, I don't remember what it was, and said that he didn't say that. So we just wrote stuff. Yeah, we got typewriters or whatever now. Anyway, so the Jaguars, what happened with the Jags? Are they losers this year? They're not doing a lot of winning? Is that what happened?
There's some things that need to get cleaned up.
I'm pretty sure Bortles got benched this week.
Yes, but it was to make a statement by the head coach, and it was the wrong statement to be made.
It was a big mistake.
It was incorrect.
I'm going to just go ahead and say it's a big mistake. Although nothing about this surprises me because it's Jacksonville, and I don't know why anyone thought that this was a sustainable thing.
I thought it wouldn't surprise you because it's Blake Bortles and you're a Blake Bortles hater.
I'm not a Blake Bortles hater. I am a realist. I keep it 100.
And he's an everyman quarterback, and he gets the job done.
He is an everyman quarterback. Everyone can't win the Super Bowl. You're right about that. Boom. Finally, the Eagles. The Eagles, man. You know, the thing about the Eagles is I really want the Eagles to be good.
No, you don't.
I do, actually. I think that the Eagles are a fun team, and it was really fun to see them in the Super Bowl, and they're coming out to Meek Mill, and it was like all for the culture, although I think that Eric Reid
Eric Reid begs to differ. Who's for the culture?
But the Eagles are losers this week. They got to get together. And I don't know what's going on with the NFC East. I just can't have the R words be atop the NFC East. I'm not here for that.
I know.
I just don't like that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't get excited about it.
But I want to say this. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this at all, but to say what winning programs should do by just copying what Bill Belichick and the Patriots does, I'm over that. I'm completely over that.
Oh, you are?
Yes, because that's just how that program does it. Mm-hmm. They've seemed to win because enough people have been complacent and deal with being in a very hostile work environment and very militant work environment. A lot of people, it works for some people. It doesn't work for everybody. I'm on Lane Johnson's side of this whole thing.
What's an NFL dynasty that you're a fan of?
The Ravens.
Dynasty.
Steelers.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what the Steelers are known for?
Defense.
Consistency. Yeah,
but they're not known for being drill sergeants.
Are they?
No, they're not.
And I wouldn't necessarily call them. I would say the Steelers as in a franchise in a whole are a dynasty. It's not like they've won over the last 20 years. I'm pretty sure actually the Patriots have kind of owned the Steelers over the past 20 years.
I'm saying we need to not stop letting the Patriots run the NFL.
No, we can stop letting the Patriots run the NFL when someone beats the Patriots consistently, and that doesn't seem to be happening. So, quite frankly, like win one Super Bowl, great, congrats. I would love for the Dolphins to win one Super Bowl, but if you give me the option of winning 5 Super Bowls, I'll take 5. Thank you. And just everybody doesn't like the same thing. I get what Lane Johnson is saying, like what you're referring to, saying he'd rather win 1 Super Bowl and have fun than 5 and be miserable. Maybe I can agree with that because you won 1 Super Bowl. But if you haven't won a Super Bowl, that's not as easy to say. And quite frankly, that's aiming low. And maybe for some people that's cool. All right.
Aiming low.
I'm you know what? Maybe it's because I admired Michael Jordan growing up, so I believe in greatness. And other people, they were fans of Charles Barkley or something. I don't know.
You're a fan of a lot of variables lining up to the perfect point to have a result.
I'm saying that
That's what you're a fan of.
Consistency is what provides championships.
Okay.
And organizations all being on the same page, and football being the ultimate team sport, everybody believing in something, the one thing. Like, in order to be successful as an individual, you have to have one focus, right? Like, if you meet someone who's like, oh yeah, so I'm an actress, I also do a DJing on the side on Saturdays. I love pottery. I've been teaching 3 yoga classes. And I'm also a dancer. I love professional dancing.
And professional IG.
I'm an influencer.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
you
yes,
have
yes,
to try this new ice cream place in Abbott Kinney.
Yes.
It is ta-da. Okay.
Shouts out to Salt and Straw.
I love Salt and
Delicious.
Straw. So good.
They're delivering for free all weekend.
Yeah. Salt and Straw is good for delivering. Anyway, the point is they are probably moderately good at all of those things that they do, okay, including like creating succulent arrangements, all right? But in order to be great, you have to have one singular focus. And in order for an organization to be great long term, you have to have one singular focus. And sometimes individuality does not fit into that situation. It's not the NBA where one player can change the course of your franchise's history. It's not that simple. Like, you can put a superstar, LeBron James, on your team with other good players and you be in the lottery for 4 years in a row and then start going to the finals. Like, that can happen. With the NFL, you get a quarterback, you still need other players around you, and everybody has to have the same singular focus. So I get it, like, Patriots are boring. Believe me, I've suffered at the hands of the Patriots for many years, 20 to be exact. But the reality is, if you want to do sustained winning, then everybody's got to be on the same page. And everybody doesn't get to party all the time. Winning isn't always fun. It's just the way it is. Sorry. All right, what's in the culture report this week?
Last week, we went on and on about Drake and Kanye West and their ongoing beef last summer when Drake went on LeBron's HBO show The Shop and detailed how he believes that he was betrayed by Kanye West because Kanye was the one who informed Pusha T about Drake hiding his secret son from the world.
Spilling all the tea.
Exactly. Well, last week on Joe Budden's podcast, Pusha T revealed that Kanye did not give him the information on his secret son, but it was his beloved producer and best friend 40 who leaked the information to a woman who was close to Pusha T in the Good Music camp. If you remember last week, 40 was the one Drake got all emotional about when recapping the Pusha T diss track, The Story of Adidon. Pusha T also revealed that Drake offered $100,000 to people in Virginia for dirt on Push. 2 things are true from this whole thing. 1, we as men are huge gossips. And 2, this whole thing feels like an ongoing advertisement for Kanye West, and I'm kind of over the whole thing.
I'm over it.
Right?
I'm certainly over it.
It's like all these details coming out. It's
there's
like,
so many
details.
Why? There's so many details. And, I'm just not a detail person. I'm more of a big picture person.
Because you just like don't. The more you know,
like,
the more you don't believe.
I just need to know whose side I'm supposed to be on here.
Right.
Like, let me know which side I'm supposed to be on as a whole. Right. That's kind of the world we live in. It's like this side or that side, and there's not really an in-between. Listen,
Kanye West is trumping the situation, like making sure all parties just are all just thinking about Kanye West. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing,
there's a lot going on there.
It's just we're feeding
into
a lot
of things. But your first point is very true. Men are by miles far more gossipy than women. It's actually a fucking joke that men accuse women of being bigger gossips than men.
So the thing is, the men, they run the whole world thing, unfortunately. So they just like put titles on it, like analysis or
I would venture to say that the entire business that we work in is based off of the need for men to gossip.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that.
I do well in the show because I am a big fan of gossip.
It's truly remarkable that most men are not capable of admitting that men are bigger gossips.
It's like it's a dirty word or something. You get gossip.
I mean, because it's not the most manly thing.
I don't care. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought we were redefining all that stuff.
Oh, we are now?
Yeah, I thought we were.
Oh, we're not doing gender roles conveniently for 2 seconds. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. I just need to know what side I'm supposed to be on.
Yeah. And Cardi B dropped money.
Yes.
I like the artwork more than the song right now.
The artwork is fabulous.
Oh my gosh. Roly, roly, roly. Just like
all those rollies.
Just looks.
It's very shiny.
Yes, and
so
also
shiny.
Very naked. She is.
That is one of my. She is naked. Yeah. That's one of my favorite Disney songs.
Shiny.
Moana.
Who?
Moana. You never seen Moana?
I have a little bit of it. The first 30 minutes. Great.
You didn't watch the whole thing?
No, I didn't want to get sucked in.
I'm so shiny. It's such an easy watch.
It says the sound.
It's such an afternoon easy watch.
It's an afternoon watch.
Yes. Did you watch Frozen?
Unfortunately, it was that gender roles in Frozen were terrible.
What the f*** do you mean? Unfortunately,
just believe anything the guy says,
not
even though he knows.
Not a lot of culture in Frozen. Not a lot of culture.
Yes.
Although, gotta say, I don't really like the snow. So, you know.
Oh, I love snow. Do you want to build a snowman? Yes.
You would
every
like
time.
snow. You would like
love
snow.
to build a snowman. Every time they ask, yes.
Snow.
Let's
It's
have a
so
bunch laying
cold.
around. Yes. I got all this fat to prepare myself to just be in cold all the time. 67 degrees in my house.
I mean, when I was a baby, I used to enjoy snow because you could throw the things at other people.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, no.
Snow Day.
As
Great
soon as
movie.
I was homeschooled.
You had Snow Day all the time then.
Yes, literally every day was snow day. All right, fun stuff today. Thanks so much to Chris Haynes for joining us.
Yes.
Talking a little NBA. Quick shout out to the Maybe I'm Crazy Podcast Fantasy League. Got the W this week. Really feeling good about that.
I lost.
You lost?
Yeah. Against someone who doesn't win games. So.
What was the culprit of that?
What's the corporate of that?
I'm just kidding. I lost. Dang it.
When did you think you won?
Because I you know what? I thought I had enough points and I didn't.
You don't check it.
Damn it, Odell.
Oh,
that's why.
Finally had a good game.
All right, well, I'm still 4-3, and I'm still beating you, so that's all that matters.
Well,
in fourth place, still shout out to Drunken Monkeys, killing it. Still at the top, Unstoppable Force, Once in a Lifetime, and then myself. Sorry about your L this week. Make sure you follow us on the YouTube channel, Maybe I'm Crazy Podcast, and all of our social media pages at Maybe I'm Crazy Pod, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.